We've got big midweek racing vibes today. We're talking the Outlaws at Lincoln tonight, plus dueling super late model shows between XR and FloRacing. Let's get into it. Today is Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. It's been nearly 2 weeks since they last raced, but the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series is back in action tonight at Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania. Tonight kicks off a 3-race week in Central PA that includes 2 nights at Williams Grove also coming up this weekend. The weather looks fantastic for today, but keep an eye on the weekend at the Grove. There are rain chances in the forecast for both days, with Friday looking a little better than Saturday, so definitely something to keep an eye on as the week progresses. Brad Sweet enters tonight as the points leader by 20 points over Carson Macedo. David Gravel is third. He's 30 points back. Sheldon Haudenschild is 68 back in fourth, while everyone else from Logan Schuchart in fifth on back is over 100 points behind. Schuchart and Spencer Baston in sixth in the standings are moving in the right direction in recent weeks, with those drivers topping the series in average finish over the previous 5 races. They each won a night at Bristol to close out April, and before that, Carson Macedo won 2 in a row at Peevely and Hobstop. Macedo leads all drivers with 4 victories this season. Sheldon, Gravel, and Gio Scelzi each have 2 Outlaw wins apiece, while Donnie Schatz, Jacob Allen, Schuchart, Baston, Kyle Larson, Sweet, and Brent Marks all have 1 win apiece. So now that you're back up to speed on where things stand with the Outlaws as a whole, let's look at Lincoln specifically. This week is the first of kind of the classic Outlaws versus Posse clash for the year. We get a bunch of rounds of this between the various Central PA tracks. But honestly, it hasn't been much of a competition in recent seasons. The Outlaws have flat dominated Central Pennsylvania. At Lincoln, Outlaw drivers have won 3 of the past 5 races there, including the last 2. Lance DeWeese is the most recent non-Outlaw victor at the track. That happened back in 2019. Outlaw drivers also own the top spots in average finish at the track over the past 5 visits. Gravel is leading that category. He sits at 2.8 and Schatz is at 6.2. Names like Anthony Macri and DeWeese and Freddie Ram are all pretty far down that average finish list. If you want to win tonight, you'll have to start towards the front. Not shocking in an Outlaw feature, but the past 5 winners at Lincoln have averaged a start of about 2.4. So far this year with the Outlaws, we've had 6 winners from the pole, 4 from second, 3 from third, 3 from sixth, and 1 from seventh. The DirtTracker.com analytics prediction formula likes David Gravel tonight. His recent average finish there is a big reason why, and I think I'm going to roll with Logan Schuchart myself tonight. He's been very strong lately. He's got 5 straight top 5s, and he's qualifying much better in recent weeks. I think that'll be key tonight, and he and that Shark Racing group are back home in Pennsylvania, so they'll be comfortable there. I'll be curious to see what Sweet and Gravel can do tonight as well. Sweet only has the 1 win on the year, but he's leading the standings because he's been so damn consistent. This part of the country isn't usually kind to the 49 team, but Brad did win at Lincoln in the series last trip 1 year ago, so maybe things are turning around for that group. As for Gravel, he started out the season red hot and had people talking championship, but he had a stretch where he had 3 finishes of 13th or worse in 5 races. In the past 5 events, though, they've stabilized, but they are behind both Sweet and Macedo. I'm personally still really high on Macedo here in year 4. His qualifying average and average feature start are actually down a bit from last year, but that hasn't stopped him from improving his average finish. He's basically matched his feature plus minus from a year ago as well, and that is key when you look at past champions. Those guys are able to make moves come feature time and maximize finishes even when they don't start well. That's how you win an Outlaw championship. Drop me a comment. Let me know who you are picking for tonight's win. A couple of other Outlaw notes for you before we move on. Jason Sides is making way in the 7S this week for Tim Schaefer. The Steel City Outlaw will pilot the Sides entry in the next 4 events tonight at Lincoln and then the upcoming shows at the Grove and Bridgeport. We talked about Sides looking for some other drivers here not too long ago on this show, so this shouldn't be a shock to those of you that watch regularly. Also tonight, we'll see the return of Kasey Kahne to the seat of the KKR9, another guy I get asked about on a pretty regular basis. He was supposed to be a full-timer in 2022, but he's been dealing with the effects of a crash from back at Volusia in February, and he's only made 4 appearances with the Outlaws this year. Hopefully this means he's healthy and can continue to race going forward. It also sounds like we could see Christopher Bell racing tonight in the Swindell Speed Lab 39, and Alex Bowman is on his way in his own Ally 55. If you want to watch tonight, Dirt Vision has the live stream. Elsewhere tonight, we get the first clash of the XR Super Series and the FloRacing Night in America Series. XR is starting 4 days at Charlotte for the Colossal 100 weekend, and tonight's Flo Show at Spoon River kicks off the 4-night Illinois Speed Week. All of the national heavy hitters will be split between the two series, and I'm honestly a little surprised about who's going where. I think the two biggest shocks for me are Jonathan Davenport and Kyle Larson. They lead the Flo Series points right now, and Larson is sponsored by FloRacing, but both of those drivers are expected to be at Charlotte for all 4 race nights with XR. I definitely didn't see that coming. Last week, it seemed as though we may see Davenport at the 2 Flo shows tonight and tomorrow, then Charlotte for Friday and Saturday, but that doesn't appear to be the case now. Also, Charlotte is obviously much more convenient for Larson and team owner Kevin Rumley. That 6 car is based here not too far from Charlotte, but I thought that Flo connection would be too strong along with chasing the Flo Championship. But that also isn't the case here for Larson either. So at Charlotte, we'll see Larson, JD, Brandon Overton, Tim McCready, Chris Madden, Dale McDowell, Chase Briscoe, Chris Ferguson, Ricky Weiss, Scott Bloomquist, Jimmy Owens, and more. And then at Spoon River, we'll get Bobby Pierce, Brandon Shepard, Shannon Babb, Ryan Shirley, EPJ, Tyler Erb, Devin Moran, Ryan Gustin, Ashton Winger, Cade Dillard, Dennis Erb Jr., and more there. So on both ends of the spectrum, we're getting great fields and should have some good racing. The XR show tonight pays $25,000 to win, while the Flo show is $22,000 to win. With Davenport, Larson, and Overton all not racing with Flo this week, that will elevate names like Bishop and Pierce to the top of the heap for the Flo Championship. I feel like this feels like a little bit of a blow to Michael Rigsby and Ben Shelton and the Flo Series to lose those 3 guys. They're putting up that extra cash for the champion if they have perfect attendance, but that wasn't enough to keep those big 3 in the mix. As for the XR shows, I actually may try and sneak out to the dirt track sometime this week. That facility is basically a stone's throw from my house, and I haven't been to a dirt event in way too long. If you're a late model fan, let me know your thoughts on the XR versus Flo stuff this week. Are you going to try and watch both? Do you have subscriptions to both FloRacing and XR? Let me know where you stand on all of this stuff right now. With the Short Track Super Series at Accord Speedway last night, it was pole sitter Matt Williamson who grabbed his 3rd career victory with the series. Before the halfway point of the race, Danny Creedon was able to slip by Money Matt in lap traffic, but Creedon's time out front was short-lived. On a lap 21 restart, Williamson dove low on Creedon to take the top spot, with the two actually making contact, and Creedon ended up slipping back to 3rd. Williamson led the rest of the way for the $6,000 victory. He also takes the North Region point standings lead with 2 races complete on the year. Behind Williamson, Creedon battled back to 2nd at the end. Andy Becchetti was 3rd, Bobby Hackle 4th, and Danny Tyler completed the top 5. Short Track Super Series has another midweek show next Tuesday night, May 17th at Outlaw Speedway. And kudos to the track and series for getting that main event complete last night by about 9:30 here in the East. As we talked about yesterday, that's what you've got to do with these weekday races. On the Dirt Racing podcast front this week, Wing Nation has shows with Cruz Pedregon, Lori McCarl, and Brian Kemenall. Loud Pedal has Parker Price Miller. Forward Bite has Max Blair. Ohio Dirt has Cale Thomas. The Dirt from Knoxville has Scotty Johnson. Dirt Tracks and Rib Racks has Thomas Miserall. And there are new episodes of The Dirt Reporters and The Dirt Nerds. To see the full list of shows and episodes, head over to dirttracker.com/podcasts. And there are 4 items on the streaming schedule for today. Dirt Vision has the Outlaws from Lincoln, FloRacing has their late models from Spoon River and Flo 24/7, and XR Plus has the XR Super Series from Charlotte. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. I mentioned on the show yesterday, and I do so periodically, about decals, if you would like to get one of those. Just generally, if you would like to support the show, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do that. You can grab a decal, you can subscribe to Dirt Tracker Plus, you can buy a FloRacing subscription through our link. You can find all of those below in the video description. You can also hit the thanks button on these videos. That's a way to support the show as well monetarily if you'd like to do that. If you want to spend any money, you can make sure you're subscribing, liking, leaving reviews, all of those things. That helps out the show and the project as well. And if you don't want to do any of those things, that's fine too. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing these shows for free. You'll still be able to watch these and not do any of those things as well. So not hurting my feelings, just glad you're tuned in on a daily basis. That's it for the show today. Have a good Wednesday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.